Okay, you people sit tight, hold the fort, and keep the home fires burning. And if we're not back by dawn, call the president. Welcome to the Pixelpop Movie Podcast. I'm your host for this episode, Toby. With me, I'm joined by the Lord of Thunder, Ethan.
Lord of Thunder? Ooh.
You like that
one?
Right. Yeah. And the It's All in the Reflexes, Dan.
I mean, it is technically all in the reflexes, so you are not wrong, sir.
Yeah. I'm quoting Big Trouble in Little China just because the topic of conversation for this episode is reliving the 80s, and we're going to be looking at sequels and reboots of prominent films from the 80s. And of course, one of those that we've discussed many times over on this show is Big Trouble in Little China. But before we dive into that, we're also going to have some mini reviews of things that we've seen on the small screen and the big screen. And then before that, we've got a whole swag of trailers and news. So let's start with that. Please take us away, Ethan.
First bit of news we got is we got a release date for The Mandalorian Season 2, which will premiere in October this year.
Jeez, they really smashed that through at top speed, haven't they?
Well, with the new technology they're doing for it, it makes it so much easier to film it and pump it out fast.
Yes, but I still do feel that Disney is scrambling a little bit. I think I would love to have seen the figures of sign-ups and then Mandalorian ending and unsubs. Like, would have been...
Oh, they did release that.
Oh, they did. And was it significant?
It was significant after Mandalorian finished.
Yeah. So
which I think is part of the reason why we also have Falcon and Winter Soldier and WandaVision. WandaVision got bumped up to this year as well, which I think isn't part of that.
I mean, I'm not rubbing my hands together and hoping they fail.
Well, no.
Actually, more than anything, I'm a little bit worried that I hope the quality of these shows doesn't deteriorate through sort of rushing through. But look, by the end of the year, I'm sure Disney Plus will have found its feet, so to speak, and it'll be fine by then.
Yeah, well, Falcon and the Winter Soldier comes out in August.
Yes.
And then we have WandaVision is for December.
Yeah, well, good things for Disney Plus. I'm personally going to wait until those Marvel shows drop before I sub. But yeah.
Next, we have a bit of big news. Following the departure of Scott Derrickson from Doctor Strange 2, the biggest rumor at the moment is Sam Raimi taking over the reins for it.
Yeah, they're definitely pushing that horror theme, aren't they, with this film?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I know Raimi obviously did the Spider-Man trilogy, and that was very popular, but he's also well known as obviously Evil Dead, so...
Well, yeah, and he's been producing a hell of a lot of horror these days as well.
It's actually probably the perfect combination. Here you've got a guy who can direct a superhero film, but has roots in horror. Yeah, this is probably what they're kind of looking for. I guess it's just going to come down to, and we've only can speculate, that Disney was a bit manipulative of what they wanted, so it's just, I guess it's a case of whether Sam Raimi's prepared to bend to the Disney overlords.
I mean, you look at his thing, so he started off with Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness, and then he's got Spider-Man, Drag Me to Hell, another horror movie he directed.
Yeah, that was good.
Oz the Great and Powerful was the last movie he directed in 2013. And then following on from that, in 2004, he produced The Grudge, Boogeyman, The Grudge 2, 30 Days of Night, The Possession, Evil Dead, Poltergeist, Don't Breathe, Crawl, and then The Grudge that came out this year. He's produced a hell of a lot of horror.
That Poltergeist movie was an abortion, and just...
yeah.
Well,
just...
You can't always have hits.
We don't speak about that Poltergeist.
That was a messy film.
So he's done a lot. He's done a lot of horror.
If he ends up signing on the dotted line, I would really look forward to seeing what he can do with a Marvel film. Again, even if you're not a big fan of his horror stuff, the Spider-Man trilogy, I think is testimony enough.
Yeah. And then Scott Derrickson tweeted out pretty much full support, saying, if you're going to get someone to replace me on it, I wholeheartedly agree with you getting Sam Raimi for this. Which is sort of a bit more credence to Sam Raimi taking on the role, but there's no confirmation yet. He did just cancel an appearance at some convention because he's going to be filming in London next month. Who knows if that's for Doctor Strange or not? But that was came out the other day. Following on from that, Kirk Douglas, Hollywood legend, has died at 103.
Yeah, that's not a bad innings, hey?
That's a big innings. That's not really heard of. That's a very solid innings.
Yeah, well, I mean, Michael Douglas is not exactly a spring chicken, so you sort of look at him and Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well, he did a bucket-load of films too. I mean, most of them before my time, but
he did a bucket-load of films and then had $92 million and didn't give a cent to his son, which who doesn't need it. He doesn't need it.
He doesn't.
It all went to I think it went to his charity, but good on him.
Yeah, I mean, Michael's had a very successful film career, and is married to Catherine Zeta-Jones. I mean, he's not exactly doing poorly for himself, is he?
Take this next one with a huge grain of salt.
Huge grain of salt,
because has not been confirmed. George Miller's next Mad Max movie is apparently to film in Australia this year.
Apparently. Yes, I had also read on another site that he and Warner Brothers, because the problem was that there was Miller was claiming an unpaid bonus for coming in under budget, and then the Warner Brothers was saying, well, no, you went over budget, and then Miller said, well, no, that was your changes to the film that pushed the budget over. Anyway, that's been backwards and forwards. It was about $9 million. It's not chump change, but
yeah.
Apparently they may have buried the hatchet, especially since Warner Brothers got acquired, or their film division got acquired or some such, so I don't know.
Well, not only that, I think Mad Max Fury Road got movie of the decade as well.
There you go.
So
it's just, apparently Warner Brothers wants to make it, Miller wants to make it, so they're going to have to get over their shit, get on with it, but it looks like there is thunder on the horizon, so it'd be really good, because Miller's not a spring chicken either. He's what, in his 80s? Something like that.
70s, something like that, I think.
Yeah, he's not young, so I would love to see him. I know he's got this script, and he's got the Furiosa script put away, and the Furiosa, there was supposed to be possibly an anime, whether that happens or not, but this next film, the word is that it's not a direct sequel to, it's still the same character in the same world, but it's not harkening back to, I mean, if you think Mad Max 1, 2, 3, there's no real carry-on, you could watch them almost in any order. Well, apart from, the first one, but you know what I mean, 2 and 3 don't particularly carry on from each other, so I think that's kind of what he's saying here.
Next to go on to some trailers, we had a trailer for Spiral from the Book of Saw.
Yeah, I mean, I really was keen to see some footage, and I wasn't too disappointed. I'm pretty keen. I people are going to laugh and say Chris Rock and something like this, but I think he can pull it off. And that trailer, I'm not going to say I'm hyped, but I'm filled with promise.
Well, apparently, the guy who wrote Saw, the first one, Lee Whannell, the guy who's doing Invisible Man, the Australian guy, he was at a party with, a big celebrity party, I think it was a couple of years back, and someone was like, oh, there's Chris Rock, go talk to him. So he's like, oh, okay. He walks up to Chris Rock, he's like, oh, hey, I'm a fan. Chris Rock's like, oh, yeah, thanks. And starts to walk away. Chris Rock's publicist is like, that's the guy who created and wrote Saw. And then Chris Rock's like, you fucking kidding me? Walks back and starts talking to him. He's like, I fucking love it. I love Saw. I love the series. I've got an idea I want to do. Here's what I want to do. And they're like, yeah, all right.
Yeah, there you go.
So apparently Chris Rock has been a huge fan of it for a long time. He's been wanting to make a Saw movie. I think he's credited as writer and producer and actor on this one.
Right.
Yeah, he's solely credited as the writer for it, Chris Rock.
Cool, yeah. Anyway.
Next we have a trailer for Altered Carbon Season 2, which is out this Friday.
Wow, is it this Friday? Jeez, that's quick.
Oh, I'm so excited.
I'm falling behind on all these shows.
I did not finish Season 1.
Oh,
I did.
Ethan, go watch that.
No, don't tell him that.
Go watch it.
If you tell him that, he'll just dig his heels in more.
Yeah,
don't watch it. Ethan, don't watch it. No, don't watch it, mate.
It's shit. But if you tell him that, then he'll also think it's terrible and not watch it. So this is a lose-lose. You can't win here.
Okay.
You just say like, oh yeah, I watched it.
I've watched it. Would I recommend it? I mean,
it was better than Skyline.
It was a thing.
I will leave this podcast right now if you don't retract your statement.
Nothing's better than Skyline.
Nothing's better than Skyline 1 or 2.
Oh dear. Yeah, so this has got Anthony Mackie, and while I think the first season overall wasn't bad, it was a little bit of a mixed bag. Some of the acting was a bit, others was okay and to good. There was lots of unnecessary booms and bums, which is fine, I guess, if you're into that, but I'm hoping with Mackie and that this season's got some tighter writing and some better acting, and it just shapes up a little bit. So I just got to find the time to watch it.
Alright, next we have a trailer for The Hunt, which has now got a release date again, March 13th.
Yeah, So what was interesting is we watched the original trailer for this, and then you had I think it was that shooting in Vegas, was it not?
Which one?
Yeah. Well, there was a shooting that sort of made people sort of not be keen for the film. They dialed it back. This trailer sort of almost tries to, I don't know if it's poking fun at itself, but it's sort of trying to hint that the whole thing is fake. But, I don't know. I actually think it's a better trailer than the first one we saw. I certainly wouldn't go to a cinema and watch this, but I mean, if it pops up on Netflix in 6 months, I'd probably give this a watch.
Or Amazon, yeah, one of them.
Yeah, anyway.
We have another trailer for The Iron Mask, which apparently came out last year in China, but it's getting its Western release later this year. UK cinemas and on digital 10th of April. It's one of those big budget Chinese, Chinese-Russian sort of cross-production film. It stars Jackie Chan and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, I saw the trailer for that.
Jason Fleming, Rutger Hauer.
Wow, would have been one of Rutger Hauer's last films then, wouldn't it?
You watch the trailer and it's big budget, just crazy weird movie. But it's a sequel to a movie that came out a couple of years ago again as well.
It's Jackie Chan and Arnold Schwarzenegger. Who's not going to watch it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly.
I'm going to watch it. I love Jackie Chan. I love Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm hooked. Let's go. I don't care if it's bad. It's probably going to be terrible, but I'll watch it.
Yeah. No, I like Jackie Chan. He's got good sense of humor, and Arnold can have a bit of a laugh. So
could be good. It'll be digital, so probably Amazon or Netflix will have it.
Yeah, that's fine.
We had a trailer for The Green Knight.
What the hell's that? Tell me about that.
So The Green Knight is, give me a second, because he's like some folklore character from Maryland.
Oh, it is that story then. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It's I don't think it's. I think it's it's European. I don't think it's.
Arthurian.
Yeah, it's sort of it's linked into that, but I mean most of the classic Arthurian is French, I think. Anyway, so I think it's it's European myth. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Like you sort of got your Beowulf and all that sort of stuff.
Okay. So pretty much, in a book, Sir Gawain and the Green Knight.
Yeah, Sir Gawain and the Green Knight.
Yeah, it's transformed into the Green Knight by Morgan Le Fay.
Yeah.
A traditional adversary of King Arthur.
Yeah, I read the story when I was a kid a billion years ago. So yeah, I just wasn't sure if it was that Green Knight or
But it's medieval fantasy film.
Yeah, I mean it's been a long time since we had an Excalibur, so cool.
There's Dev Patel as the Green Knight, Alicia Vikander, Joel Edgerton.
I like her. I like Alicia Vikander. Yeah. She's quite good. Yeah. Joel Edgerton. Yeah. He's matured.
Yeah.
Cool. Did he actually help? Did Joel help with the writing at all or directing? Because I know he's been doing a lot of that.
No, he didn't. No.
Okay, I just thought I'd ask because I know he's been doing quite a bit of that.
Yeah, he has. The director of it has done not much. I had a Pete's Dragon a couple of years ago.
Oh yeah, which was what the live action remake of the cartoon was it?
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
And then a Ghost Story with Casey Affleck and Rooney Mara. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, it could be good.
Could be.
It looks it looks very arty. It's A24, so I think this is like A24's sort of first step into fantasy and all that sort of stuff.
Right. I haven't watched the trailer, but now I know what it is. I will.
Because A24 does a lot of artsy. Well, they're indie, but they've all been artsy, nominated for awards and all that sort of stuff. They did Uncut Gems. They did Midsummer.
Right. So is this going to Netflix or is this going to cinemas?
I think it's going to cinema.
Okay. Cool.
As far as I'm aware.
Yep. Okay.
May 29th.
Okay. Yep. Not far. Yeah, not far at all. Then. Yep.
Yeah. Next we had a little teaser called Stranger Things 4 from Russia with Love.
Yeah, I mean we all saw it coming, but
I wish it wasn't.
I'm not going to spoil it because some people might not want to know.
Yeah,
and Dan hasn't watched all of season 3, so let's
I'm not going to. I mean, too bad for you if you haven't watched season 3.
I haven't.
No, too bad for you. Too bad. But I mean, considering it's a 5-second trailer or whatever it is, I'm not going to spoil it. But I think we all kind of predicted it. I'll wait. I mean, it's going to be Stranger Things. It's going to be fine. It's going to be great. I'll wait for the proper trailer to drop. Hopefully sometime soon, and hopefully a date because it didn't have a date, did it? Did we got a stream date on it?
No, I didn't. No,
I didn't think so. So I'll wait for the proper trailer with a stream date before I get too excited. But
I reckon I'll probably be Halloween again.
Yeah, be like.
Well, it was July 4th last time, wasn't it?
No.
Oh, it was too.
Oh, but it has to be later.
It was July 4th because they were trying to mix it up a bit. So, I don't know, maybe we're due for Christmas, right?
The name of the first episode's already come out as well. They've already released that.
For the what? The what?
The first episode of season 4, the name of it's already out too.
Ah, okay. Well, we won't spoil that either.
No. But yeah, so the first season came out July 15th. The second season came out October 27th. Third season was July. We got October again.
Yeah, probably.
I'll say October if you want to go by that.
Yeah, or at least, I reckon October or maybe even later, maybe pushing into a Christmas, New Year's thing. Yeah.
Well, Christmas might be fitting, yeah.
Yeah, it could be interesting.
That's saying, yeah.
Well, again, not getting into spoilers. Actually, no, not getting into spoilers. This is interesting. But in that trailer, it's snowing, and that country is in the Northern Hemisphere, which means it's winter, which means it's late in the year.
Yeah.
So there you go, which means from that you could probably extrapolate a Netflix premiere date. unless that's a flashback scene. Unless that's a flashback scene.
Well, I don't think that's a spoilers either, but also taking into account
he's lost weight.
Some set behind the scenes videos they did while filming season 3. One of the kids says that the sets for the house were being decorated with Christmas stuff.
He did. That's right. That was yes. He did. And he's
Dustin.
like, I don't know why, but my ass is being Dusty said that. Yeah. All right. So I think we've probably between those little tidbits, we're gonna lean towards a Christmas release. Or close to.
I think Christmas is more likely now.
All right. You guys are right onto it. I'm agree with you.
All right, moving on.
Transformers War for Cybertron trilogy coming to Netflix. Revealed today or the other day at the New York Toy Fair.
A couple of days ago. Yeah,
I was so happy.
Dan, it has the original Transform sound.
Yeah, okay. So I was so happy, okay? Because Barney watched it, and he came out, he's like, I saw it! It was so great! And that's the Optimus Prime in truck form. How does he know what a truck is if it's still on Cybertron? And just wanted to ran for it. And it was beautiful just watching him say
YouTube. He was watching it on YouTube.
Of course.
Yeah.
Didn't you learn from the movie they used the World Wide Web?
Of course.
But all I care was I watched the trailer and I just went, yes, original sound effect.
As it should
so
be.
Good.
I mean, like the movies had it kind of,
a little bit, but it was Skrillexfied, so it wasn't as good. But yeah, that's coming to Netflix soon, so that'll be good.
Yeah, there's no release date on the thing, but just said Netflix.
Yeah.
Yep. We have, is it Freud?
Sigmund Freud. Yeah, Freud.
Oh,
so it's
it's
obviously loosely based on his life because if you watch the trailer, it's
fantasy or something, isn't it?
It just looked. No, I think it's just going to be a mindfuck. I think it's going to be if you've watched Jacob's Ladder, which is with what's his face. It's a real mindfuck film, and I think this is going to be the same. It's obviously based on the person Sigmund Freud. I don't know how much of it's going to be factual.
Werewolves?
Yeah, hardcore werewolves. I think this is going to be a real mindfuck. It's not going to be for everyone, but yeah, hitting Netflix. It's in German, so if you're not into subs, then too bad. But I saw it and went, this looks good. I will watch this. Yeah.
And next trailer for Run.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw this.
Sarah Paulson. I saw this. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks pretty
spooky.
I'm a bit interested in this. Yeah.
Yeah. When I sort of started watching it definitely has a Misery feel. Stephen King's Misery.
Yeah.
But then it sort of seems to makes me start thinking more of Get Out and that kind of thing as well. So I'm not sure. Gonna have to see another trailer, but this could be interesting. Yeah, I agree with you.
I like me some horror movies, so
yeah.
And then we had a trailer for Westworld Season 3, which I have not watched yet because I kind of want to go into the season blind.
Okay. I was surprised that neither you nor Lucas had sort of brought it up because I know you're a huge Westworld fan, so I'm not going to comment on it. The trailer will be in the article that goes with this podcast, so if you want to watch it, I haven't watched the first 2 seasons, but I probably should get off my ass and do it at some point. It's just on a very long list.
Oh, you should. It is.
I haven't watched it either.
Oh. Don't you start with what I should be watching, young Ethan? All right, because the list we've thrown at you is very long.
Yeah, but the list you guys throw at me at once that people tell me to watch for years and years.
No, well, Altered Carbon isn't years and years and years. Just go finish watching it.
Yeah, but Altered Carbon was only okay anyway. So I mean, if he doesn't watch it, it's not a big loss.
But honestly, Westworld is probably one of the best TV shows I've watched in like the past.
I would rather he spends the time and goes and watches Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. To be honest,
I've never seen The Shining. I've seen
exactly.
Sleep.
Whoa!
I know.
Oh,
I know.
What?
I know.
What?
So I mean, if you're
Never
gonna
seen The Shining.
if you're gonna have a win at all, if you're ever gonna bully him into something, I'd probably start there, considering how iconic it is.
Here's
Go
the thing,
watch The
Dan.
Shining.
You could
Don't watch.
probably you could probably list off a bunch of movies from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s that are highly critically acclaimed, and I won't have seen a single one of them.
You have to remember, Dan, that
I'm so
Ethan's only
disappointed.
9 years old, so you know.
Oh, well, I'm
still-
8, so I've seen more, so it's okay.
No, Dan's 12. I tell everyone that Dan's 12.
That's 12.
He is.
You got a few more years, Ethan. You'll catch me eventually.
So I reckon the biggest news for this episode has to be that Rick Moranis has closed a deal to return to Honey, I Shrunk the Kids franchise. I mean, that's fucking huge.
Yeah, that's
coming out of
huge.
retirement.
Coming out of like 20-something years later.
Yeah,
And-
so 25 years he's been gone or something. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, because obviously his wife passed away. He took time off to look after him, raise his kids. He's done that. He's gotten lured back. Would have been great to have a cameo in the new Ghostbusters, but that's fine. I understand. But yeah, it looks like it's going to be a TV series, I believe the word is.
I didn't see that, but as far as
Or a
I'm
mini
aware,
series? I don't know. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's a movie, but yeah.
Josh Gad's in it. He plays the son, the grown-up version of the son,
Right.
and he's trying to be a great scientist like his dad, and accidentally shrinks his kids.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking. I mean, again, it takes something pretty hefty to get me out of the seat and go to the cinema these days. I don't think that's it, but definitely a home watch.
Well, I know
yeah.
that old Fast and Furious 9 is one that's going to get you out of your seat.
Oh no, I'm waiting for
Yeah,
Fast
get
10.
you to
I'm
the
waiting for
seats.
Fast 10 your seatbelts, Ethan. I'm waiting for Fast
Yeah,
10 your
no,
seatbelts.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just going to be called Shrunk, by the way.
It's just shrunk.
It's just going to be called Shrunk.
No.
Yeah, that works for me.
Next, we have Variety has reported that Gugun Batha Raw has joined the cast of Loki.
What have I seen
major
her in?
role. The Cloverfield Paradox.
Oh, okay. But that was only an average film at best. Oh.
Give me a sec, I'm seeing what else she's in. She's been something else recently. Have
She did
you
the voice of
seen-
Celadon in Dark Crystal Age of Resistance.
Have you seen Time?
And she was in Doctor Who.
Have you seen
A Wrinkle in
Motherless
Time.
Brooklyn?
No.
Come Away.
No. So the only thing I would have heard her in Dark Crystal, and that's probably
Jupiter
about
Ascending.
Nope, refused to watch it. Didn't want to go near that. Was never going to watch it.
it. Alright, well, the point is they're casting. That's good.
Yeah.
Casting leads to filming and producing. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, filming's already done, so yeah. Next we have Aladdin 2 is finally a go after figuring out what it's about.
Yeah, no one cares. Bye.
What?
Yeah.
No one
Why?
cares.
I mean, I
Literally,
haven't seen Aladdin.
no.
Why?
No, I don't know anybody that's watched the live action remake of
I
Aladdin
have.
yet.
I have watched
Oh, there
it.
you go. I know one person. I know one.
I have watched it. No.
My housemate's been to watch it at the cinemas.
No. It wasn't. No, there doesn't need to be a second one. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it did well at the box office, so grats. But
Did
Yeah.
it though? Did it actually?
It
Did
did.
it actually
Yeah, it
do
did.
good?
yeah, it did well enough that I believe it did pretty well. It could
It
certainly
did
made its
over
money
$1 billion.
back. Yeah,
It became Will Smith's highest grossing movie of his career.
yeah.
No, it didn't.
It
I
did.
think you got to remember, like
Oh,
kids who
no.
are now between the ages say 6 and 10, who may not have grown up with the original animated one. This is their jam. So they're going to go see
No,
it.
it's not. Because my son
I know.
will not watch those. We watched the original Lion King. We watched the original. No.
Wow.
No.
Anyway,
no.
there's a sequel, but I mean, how many people remember the animated sequel to Aladdin? Like, not many.
I don't
Uh,
actually think I've ever seen Aladdin.
I have. I've got them on DVD, but I mean, it didn't have Robin Williams in the second
I
one.
enjoyed Tarzan.
I think it was the guy who does Homer Simpson's voice played the Aladdin in the second one. It was terrible.
Hank Azaria was his name, isn't it?
Something
No,
like that, yeah. Anyway, no one cares. Moving on.
Next, we have Jurassic World 3 is bringing back even more people. So you have Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard.
You know
who
why?
have been recurring in the first two.
You know why?
Why?
Because they're fucking shit, and they're using like, getting people to reminisce and go, "Oh, fucking Jeff Goldblum's in it. Oh, fuck, here's my
Well,
money."
no, it's not that. So there's Justice Smith and Daniela Pineda, who were in Jurassic World 2.
Yep.
Jeff Goldblum was in Jurassic World 2.
Yep.
Ages back, they confirmed Laura Dern, Samuel, and Jeff Goldblum were back in big roles in Jurassic World 3. But now Jake Johnson and Omar Sy, who were in Jurassic World 1, are back for number 3.
Well, I watched the second one for the first time the other week.
Yeah, so did
Oh,
I.
yeah.
I watched it
Yep.
like 2 weeks ago.
I think it was on Amazon. It was on Amazon, I
Yeah.
think. I think it was on Amazon. Yeah.
And it's on Netflix, one of them.
One of
yeah.
those. It's a steaming pile of shit. It's fucking terrible.
What are you talking about?
It's
What?
fucking terrible.
Elaborate.
Okay, it's not good at all.
Oh, it's Netflix.
It was so poorly written. It was so poorly written. I was falling asleep.
It exploded.
That's not even how volcanoes
work.
That's
and
not
guess
how...
what? They ended up in a city, and guess what? The same thing from the Lost World happened.
Guess what? Like, how were the pterodactyls not just fucking off to begin with?
Because...
Wizards. The whole thing is so fucking stupid. The whole thing is stupid. Bin. Literal bin. Bin.
Lost Raptor's been trained to kill people, just saying.
It's fucking terrible. It is just Raptor Jesus, right? It's just terrible.
You know what? As bad as it was, I was like, go Raptors, go!
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Done.
Next we have Harrison Ford is apparently going to shoot Indiana Jones 5 in 2 months.
Nope. Don't want it.
In 2 months they'll start filming.
I don't want it. No, I don't want it. I love Indiana Jones. I love Indiana Jones.
This will be the last one.
No.
This is where he dies.
The third one should have been the last one. Fuck Crystal Skull.
Yep. What skull?
Alien.
Didn't happen. It didn't happen. It never happened. There is no Crystal Skull.
Following on from this news I didn't put in, Tom Holland has said that he starts filming the Uncharted movie in about a month.
Keen. Cool. Looking forward to it.
But it hasn't got a director yet, so who knows?
It's going to be Tom Holland. He's going to shoot it and do it all himself. Tom Holland.
Apparently, Ruben Fleischer, who did Venom and Zombieland 1 and 2, is the front runner, but nothing has been confirmed yet.
He's a good director.
I've seen several posts from Tom Holland saying he's going in for fittings and stuff for Uncharted, so they really are gearing up soon.
Finally.
And then you've got Mark Wahlberg as Sully.
Marky Mark.
Reason that I probably wanted to movie for that, but yeah. Neil Gaiman's The Sandman will start filming this May on Netflix.
Yep, people will be excited for that. It's a good
long running.
Yep.
Trying to get this off the ground.
Yep.
Following on from that, we have some more rumblings of a Diablo series for Netflix.
Yeah,
animated series.
Yeah, so someone on I think it was someone on
as well.
Yeah, someone on LinkedIn. That was the leak. Is an animator or something on LinkedIn put up that he's working on an animated Diablo and an animated Overwatch for Netflix. And just being that we've heard these rumbles from 2 or 3 other things over the last few months, I'd say it's got to be definite by now.
I hope the Overwatch one's done in style of their cinematics they do.
You'd hope so, yeah.
Because those look so good and they're so done, and could definitely see Diablo being done in the style of the Castlevania series that's on there. That'd be perfect.
Yeah, what's really interesting is I wonder if the Diablo series is going to tie in with the launch of D4, or perhaps it's going to tie in as a piece that sort of explains what happens between D3 and D4.
3 and 4? It could be.
Yeah, be interesting. Anyway, yeah, cool.
Alright, so Moon Knight, Daniel Radcliffe has said he has not been in talks to play Moon Knight.
Yeah, but that could be bullshit too.
Not at all.
Oh, that'd be cool though. I like it. I could see it happening. I don't mind that.
Yeah, I mean, look at that role he played in. No, it wasn't him. It was Elijah Wood. It was Elijah Wood that was in Sin City, wasn't it? That played the cannibal.
So even you get them mixed up. Jeez.
Yeah. Who doesn't, right?
Well, Daniel Radcliffe did Horns, which I really liked, and he's going to do a Kimbo.
Which end of this month, it's out.
Yeah.
One day only at cinemas.
What's this shit? Eli Roth is directing a Borderlands movie for Why?
Well, the thing is, for this wasn't supposed to be announced.
Oh, okay.
So Randy Pitchford, he's the founder of Gearbox, he posted a thing up on Twitter saying, happy to announce Eli Roth directing a Borderlands movie, find out more at PAX East 27th of February, and then the tweet was quickly deleted. So I think the official announcement was supposed to come towards the end of this week.
Whoops.
Right.
And he accidentally tweeted out, and everyone screen grabbed it, and then I think they've pretty much said, yeah, this is happening now. But apparently it's entering production later this year. They want to start filming it this year.
Okay.
What else can you do? Oh, we leaked it. Oh, well.
Yeah, exactly. Happening. So all it's going to be is Alien fucking Mad Max.
With Claptrap.
What else can you do?
Awesome. With Claptrap.
Not that excited.
People with special powers, sirens. Just give me some sirens in the movie and I'll be happy. That's all I need.
Yeah, not that excited. Next.
This next one, I don't know if I want to talk about this one because the person who reported on this has a track record of being quite wrong.
Alright, well then don't.
Then don't report it then.
I won't do that. Well, that's the end.
Alright, cool. Alright, well,
that's the end of the news.
Since last episode, I'm about halfway through Lock and Key.
I'm up to episode 8, I think.
How is it? I want to start watching it. I've been skeptical.
I'm enjoying it. It's very fantasy and less horror than what the comic was. So sorry, it's more fantasy and less horror, but it also has the teen drama relationship stuff that's kind of bored me a bit with it.
Okay,
it's a little off-putting.
If you go to Comixology, our friends Comixology, you can look at the first couple of pages of each comic book for free, and you'll see that the TV show, no. I'm pushing through it. I've read that it gets better. I've heard a lot of people complain that it's trying to follow the Netflix formula, which they use in just about everything. But yeah, the original comic is gory and horrific, and then I don't know, maybe they didn't want to step on the toes of whatever was House on the Haunted Hill or whatever, and so they turned it into more of a teen fantasy Harry Potter thing.
I think maybe they just tried to open up to a bigger audience too. Yeah,
and look, don't get me wrong, it's definitely going to resonate with a particular audience. I have no doubt about it. But I'm sitting there watching this thing as a parent with an 18-year-old daughter, and I'm just looking at this going, cool, yeah, stereotypical, nihilistic, couldn't give a shit teenager. Yeah, I just put it over my knee. Like, what? Fuck you, mum, I hate you. What? No. It's just so, oh, look, I'm I'm smoking a cigarette. Oh, for fuck's sake. Like, could you be any more cliche?
But the thing is, it's not bad. Like, it's not bad. It's enjoyable for a watch.
Yeah, you've got to sift through. You've got to wade through the shit, though. It's going to depend. It really is going to depend if you're a miserable old prick like me, or if you're someone that's more sort of youthful and thinks that smoking a cigarette is cool, right?
Like me.
And you haven't been exposed to this same fucking story 147,000 times already. If you enjoy Hunger Games and Maze Hunter and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, if you enjoy that sort of stuff, this is a different pace because it's less action and more adventure. You're probably going to enjoy this. If you're a disgruntled old fart like me, it's gonna be like grinding soap pepper over your face a bit. It's got some good moments, but it's got a lot of just dumb as well.
So I like dumb. We know this, but I do like Maze Runner, but I hate Hunger Games, so
I'm struggling.
It might be
I've actually been watching. I finished watching Daredevil season 1 and 2 and Defenders, and now I'm on Daredevil season 3 again. Just because, why not? And I've been enjoying that actually. Defenders going back watching it. Defenders is definitely the weakest link. It's really ordinary.
I actually didn't watch the I got I think halfway through I turned it off.
Yeah, I've watched all the Marvel stuff more than once, apart from I think sort of Jessica Jones 3 and
I did not watch Punisher.
Well, you're never coming back to this podcast again, are you? How do you like them apples?
I watched season 1. I couldn't get through season 2.
Ethan watched season 1 and gave up. I just didn't start.
Yeah, but Ethan's pathetic, so I forgive him.
Yeah.
Says a lot about me, doesn't it?
Yeah, but have you seen any movies? There was stuff hitting the cinemas since last.
Yeah, I watched Horse Girl last night on Netflix.
Yeah. Did you get out?
Weird movie.
Weird. Did you get out to the cinema for anything lately?
What was the last thing I watched? I watched The Grudge a couple weeks back.
Okay.
Your Grudge.
Oh, yeah.
You seen anything at the flicks lately, Dan?
Yeah, I've seen Sonic.
You have seen Sonic? Okay, so spoiler free. Spoiler free. What'd you think?
Spoiler free. I liked it. Yeah, okay. It was me and the boy. We went and watched it. Sick.
Did he go fast?
He went fast. He went very fast. I liked the story. I love Jim Carrey. At the end of the day, so I was instantly like, Jim Carrey's in it. It'd be great.
Yeah.
And he portrayed the character fantastic.
I have heard he carries the film a bit.
He does. He really does. The animation on Sonic is fantastic. There are a few parts where just like you could just tell he was animated. Right. There's a few pieces in there.
The fact that he's a blue hedgehog and Perfect didn't give it away though.
There was a few things in there. It's like, this is pretty real. Could be.
I did see some of the toys that have come out were obviously made before the CGI redesign.
Yep.
Yeah, some of the soft toys and stuff are based on the original design.
The spoiler free though, there is an end credit scene, so do stick around.
Oh, I know. I heard.
I've seen it.
I will tell you, I was so excited.
Now
the end credit. I was so excited.
Now we just need the other one to show up.
Eventually.
We'll get there.
I'm assuming there'll be a
You know what I'd
Sonic
love
2.
to see? It's never going to happen. You know, what'd be kind of neat is if we have the second Sonic film, that there's a portion of it where they split the screen horizontally, and you're sort of following the two characters at the same time as they move through an area, just like to reminisce like the class. Because when that came out on Genesis, like on the Mega Drive, Sonic 2 with the split screen, like 2-player, that was huge. So it'd be kind of a nice little nod. But yeah, cool. And anything on the streaming services that you're wading through at the moment?
Me or both of us?
What have I started watching?
I was watching Dinotopia on Amazon.
We still got to do Man in High Castle 4, hey?
Yeah, same, yeah. Well, I did just find out today that for you Aussie people, Around the Twisters on Amazon.
Oh, nice.
Is it?
Nice.
I love Round the Twisters. I've watched... I think it was on Netflix earlier. I was watching it, and it was fantastic. I was just rewatching it all. It was great.
I also watched the My Hero Academia movie on Anime Lab last night.
Actually, something I discovered this last week too. Another streaming service that is available here in Australia called Acorn. I don't know if you've heard of it.
No.
Okay, so Acorn TV, they predominantly do BBC and British stuff. So a lot of the stuff that... I mean, we know we do get quite a bit on Amazon and Netflix and Stan, but they only do British stuff. So they have a whole shitload of BBC stuff on there. It's $6.99 AUD a month. If you're into, because they've got a lot of British crime stuff on there as well, which, let's be honest, the Brits do really well. So, yeah, if you're an Anglophile, yeah, point your browser to Acorn TV. There's some good stuff on there. Anyway, yeah, for me, it's just been a lack of time. I haven't watched diddly squat. So, I think we're going to watch... what's that skyscraper with or whatever it is with The Rock?
Skyline.
Yeah, because that hit Netflix, so we're going to watch that tonight after the podcast.
Oh, yes.
I know it's going to be complete horseshit, but
what? It's The Rock, and there's a skyscraper. He jumps to it. I've seen the poster. He jumps.
Yeah,
so it was okay.
And he's only got one leg.
And he only has one leg. And he's The Rock.
Yeah,
it's going to be great. You'll love it, Toby. I've never seen it. I can't call.
Anyway, all right, well, let's move into our topic of conversation for this episode, and that is reliving the 80s. There's pretty much no way you can avoid it. Whether you watch TV shows or whether you watch movies, or both, you will have noticed a dramatic resurgence in rebooting films and TV shows in the 80s, and also continuing on with sequels from things like... And some of it's been obscure too, like, Punky Brewster. Is getting, if you remember, way before Ethan's time.
What the fuck is that?
Yeah, this is getting a new...
Oh, come on, man.
Yeah, this is getting a new season with the original actress. It's now she's all grown up. Of course, Big Trouble in Little China, they've been talking about rebooting for a long time. I guess we're gonna have to make... Because it's just too broad to split it up. As a general rule of thumb, though, Ethan, how do you feel about 80s remakes and sequels, generally speaking?
I don't care.
Yeah.
I think it's because there's no movie from the 80s that I hold close.
You don't have the sentimental connection.
No, well, I mean, there's a couple like Terminator in there. I watched those. They've done so many sequels. It doesn't fucking matter. The only one that I would think that I would be for is Back to the Future. But purely because that deepfake footage that came out of Tom Holland as Marty McFly and Robert Downey Jr. as Doc, seeing those faces there and like over top of them, I'm like, wow, this would actually work really fucking good if they got that together and did it. Well, see, I'm looking at Rotten Tomatoes list here of 140 essential 80s movies. I haven't seen anything.
I know we joke about this, but what year were you born?
93.
Yeah. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but the point being is, I lived through the 80s, so for you, I suppose the question would be better, 90s films being remade or sequels to, which, if they start doing that, and they will, in 10 years' time they'll start doing that, and it's probably more poignant for you then. But that's fine, because our listeners are going to be of all ages, so for someone like yourself, you would have
I'll have a look at 90s, because those ones would be better for me.
Yeah, but you would have caught the iconic things like Star Wars and things like that.
Well, yeah, Star Wars. That's why I was looking through that list of
Star Wars
140.
Yeah. Well, what about you, Dan?
Okay,
hang on. Well, what do you reckon, Dan? In terms of 80s remakes and reboots and sequels 30 years later, as a general rule of thumb, how do you feel about it?
Also born in the 90s. I was born in 90.
Right.
But my parents raised me on 80s. Okay, so I'll let you know that. Some things I'm fine with, and some things I don't want touched with a 10-foot pole. Like,
yeah, some things are sacred.
For me, we spoke about Indiana Jones. I loved Indiana Jones. Crystal Skull does not exist for me at all.
Yeah.
And the fact that they want to make a 5th one, so they're going, Harrison, why? Like, you don't need money, mate. Like, what are they offering?
He loves
you
making
for
them.
this?
He really enjoys it. He loves making them.
He likes Indiana Jones.
That's great. He can love making them, but to stop.
He
Please.
doesn't give a fuck about Star Wars, but he loves Indiana Jones.
That's
see,
the truth.
Star Wars. I love Star Wars, and I understand they had to do the first 3. I understand they had to do Phantom Menace and Revenge of the Sith and all that. I understand that, but they didn't have to make the last 3. I didn't need to be done. You know.
See, I think for myself personally, it comes down to if the lead role was iconic in the way it was portrayed. That's when it becomes really difficult for me to accept a reboot or a sequel without that original cast member. So, for instance, something like Big Trouble in Little China, Kurt Russell owns that role. Jack Burton. Nobody. It's like, and even Ethan can understand this. It's like Evil Dead. No one could ever be Ash apart from Bruce Campbell.
No.
Like, nobody could ever be Ash. You just can't do it. He is that person. So when you're talking
I've never
about...
seen Evil Dead, so...
But you understand what I'm talking about. Like, there's certain people that own a role, and that's, I think, when I take objection the most. And because some of these people are still alive, like, if you want to go back and do Big Trouble in Little China, then make it a sequel and get Kurt Russell back. Get John Carpenter back. Right? Otherwise, it's a cash grab, and that bothers me. Now, other things like, let's say, The Dark Crystal, for instance. Now, it's a great show, but the acting is puppeteers and stuff. So, and it's voice acting so you're not quite got the same iconic actor, I suppose, filling that role. So when it came time to do the sequel, I had no objections. I was really looking forward to the sequel. I enjoyed watching it. You know what I mean? Because there wasn't that sort of grounding. And there's other films in the 80s that I've watched and gone, it's not a bad film. And then if you reboot it, I probably wouldn't have a problem with it. Again, because the acting or the lead role wasn't sort of, it didn't, like, you could reboot John Carpenter's Prince of Darkness, and I wouldn't have a problem with that. But if you were to reboot They Live with replacing Rowdy Roddy Piper, I would have a problem. So for me, it really comes down to the iconic casting, and there's just some people... Again, Indiana Jones. Can you imagine if you rebooted that and you started it all over again and it wasn't Harrison Ford? Like, how? How do you do that?
They did. Oh no, sorry, that was part of one of the movies that had the younger Indy.
Yeah,
they were
they
talking
did.
about doing. They were doing a young Indiana Jones. They wanted to do that.
Oh yeah, they did a TV series, and
it
it was fucking terrible. I've watched most of it, and it got axed. It was terrible. Ford appears in one episode, and that's about it. And it was terrible. It's terrible by and large.
It's like for me if they were like reboot Gremlins.
Well,
now, see, again, Gremlins...
I was going to say, Gremlins I'll be fine for. I love the original Gremlins 1 and 2. I loved it.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, I
would be
loved
completely fine with it as long as it was puppets and not CGI.
Yes.
Then I'll be for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd be fine with that.
But again, if to me, I can picture the actors in their roles, but they weren't, iconic sort of things. Like, anybody could play that role and it wouldn't bother me. Yeah, Gremlins, and to me, Gremlins hasn't aged very well. I have fond memories of Gremlins as a kid, and I've watched it as an adult, and I think it's a shit film. I know that. Yeah, I know it's an unpopular opinion, but I just think it's a shit film. So rebooting it would probably be something that, and that's an instance where I'd be all for, improving the film.
There's one I definitely wouldn't be for, which I grew up with and watched religiously, was The Goonies. If they were to reboot The Goonies, I would be so angry.
Yeah, but I mean, what about a sequel?
A sequel would be fine if, like, obviously most of the cast are alive, like Josh Brolin and Sean Austin are all alive still. If they were to reboot it now when they're the adults and it's like they're on another adventure, but like their kids are kind of intertwined, I mean,
there was a
as long as they're
script
involved in something.
There was a script. I mean, it was completed, and it was never filmed, and it was it sort of showed the guys now older going on one last adventure because, life had sort of turned south for them and they were sort of trying to bring it back rather than doing a hand down to their kids piece. It was still the original Goonies, but I think Goonies, you could probably, if you did reboot it, and I know people would get upset, if you did reboot it, I think you might be able to get away with a series. Like a Stranger Things kind of, 10-part series, as long as you cast it well.
It's probably already been discussed with the rise of Stranger Things and all that sort of shit. It's probably been discussed somewhere.
Considering how popular those shows are, considering how popular Stranger Things is in the 80s, there's nothing probably more iconic in terms of teenagers in the 80s than, Goonies. Unless you want to move into, Porky's, but that's a bit more adult, right?
Oh, can we go home real quick? Porky's is great. I love Porky's. I remember my dad's like, you have to watch Porky's. It sounds stupid. Watching it, I was like, this is fantastic.
Well, and another one to me, remakes and sequels was Tron.
Yes. But that's a sequel, so that wasn't so bad.
Yeah. And I was shown Tron probably when I was 9 or 10. And then when I saw the trailer for the sequel, I was like, holy fuck, this looks amazing. I'm all for this. Obviously, stepped it up for the 2000s or 2010, whenever it came out. And it was great. It followed the story well. I thought it was it didn't ruin the story. It helped carry it on to more, which I'm just disappointed we didn't get a third one. Yeah. Another one is Labyrinth. And apparently there is a sequel. There is a script there for a sequel to Labyrinth.
Yeah, I think, again, you can't recast Bowie.
No, it would have nothing. You couldn't have him in there. It would have to be the world, just not him.
You know what might work? And I don't mean diverging with this sort of stuff, but you know what might work in that is if Jennifer Connelly comes back and plays the Goblin.
Later on, she grew up, or the kid actually becomes the Goblin.
Yeah, but I think if you put Connelly in there, it makes it a bit more, gives it more weight. Yeah. Look, they tried to get it off the ground a million times, and they just couldn't. I would desperately love to see a proper sequel to The Last Starfighter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, original cast, that'd be great, but I mean, it's getting a bit long now, and look, they've tried for the last, I think, 15, 20 years to get this thing happening, and it just won't happen, so that's a bit sad.
Yeah, I really like that, actually. I was I remember watching it with my dad and my uncle. It was fantastic. I love it.
It's good.
Well, then you also got The Thing.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Although the new movie is not so much a remake of Carpenter's, it's harkening back to the earlier book. So.
It's a prequel, the 2011 one. It's a prequel, but it was almost like a remake in ways as well. A lot of the scenes were almost exactly the same, beat for beat, but it was a prequel to it as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a tricky one. I think ultimately, you can't really make a blanket generalization. I think everybody's going to pick and choose, by and large. I mean, I suppose there's people that are going to be twice my age and even more disgruntled and more bitter. They're going to be like, nah, leave everything alone. But
leave Ghostbusters alone. I don't need a new one.
Well, there's a new one coming out this year.
I know there is. I don't need it. It has Paul Rudd in it. I don't need it though.
As well as all the surviving Ghostbusters members.
It's just Stranger Things with Ghostbusters. That's what I did. Hey, Stranger Things cast, come here. We want to make Ghostbusters. Okay, let's do it.
Well, apart from Rick Moranis.
He's not.
He might just appear randomly.
No, apparently he said he's not.
He was already
people
asked.
say a lot of things. He's coming back for, you know what I mean?
They do. Yeah, I mean, look at Sean Young, who openly said that if she, that she hadn't been contacted about the Blade Runner sequel, and that people should boycott the fucking movie, and then sure enough, she helped make the movie. Super deceptive.
Crisscross.
What?
Yeah,
crisscross, pretending to do something, but
you mean a double cross?
Yeah, crisscross. Yeah, double cross.
All right. So, is there something, Ethan, from your childhood that you would fire up if they decided to reboot? Recast, remake.
Give me a sec.
Yeah.
No, there was. No, I've never seen Ferngully. There was one.
Whoa, Ethan, what?
You've never
seen
happened.
Ferngully?
It's already happened. The one that I will get fired up over, and I watched it, and it's the worst movie I've ever seen in my whole life.
And what's this?
The Mummy.
Oh yes.
Yes, I can agree there. Yeah.
I had The Mummy and The Mummy Returns on VHS, and I wore those VHSs out. I fucking love those two.
That's the Brendan. You're talking about the Brendan Fraser, yeah.
Brendan Fraser, Rachel Weisz. Rachel Weisz was my first childhood crush from fucking Mummy 1 and 2.
Respect.
And she still is now.
She was definitely a honey.
When I heard they were doing the new Mummy movie, I was like, And they're like, oh yeah, Tom Cruise is in it, and it's about this mummy instead. And I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna watch it. And then it was on Netflix one night, and I watched it, and I got through the end of it, and I got mad, and I was like, oh, they're trying to make a Dark Universe, so they got Russell Crowe in here as Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I'm like, yeah, that'll be cool. And nah, that wasn't cool. And then you had like the Book of the Dead. You see in one scene, I'm like, oh, they're trying to tie it to the other Brendan Fraser movies, so you should just fuck off and just make another one Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz. And you probably shouldn't have done The Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor, because that was just utter shit. Because you know, Rachel Weisz didn't sign on to the movie, so that's a good idea. It wasn't shit. Yep. And because Rachel Weisz is like, I don't like the script, so they're like, we'll put Maria Bello there. No one will fucking know. Everyone knows. Rachel Weisz told you it was a bad movie, but anyway.
I love how passionate Ethan gets about these things, and
then they're like, hey, we got a Dark Universe. We're gonna have Javier Bardem as Frankenstein. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I've seen the original 1930s Frankenstein. They're like, we're gonna do an Invisible Man, Johnny Depp, and I'm like, no, just don't let the Dark Universe die, and it has. So
you got your wish.
I got my wish. They did it in the first place.
So is there something from your childhood, Dan, that would be like just completely sacrilegious for them to reboot?
From my childhood, and they're doing it at the moment. I guess like a lot of the Disney stuff they're doing.
Yeah,
like the live action I love Lion King, but like with the live action, I watched it. I gave it a chance. I was like, it's good, but just stop. For love of God, stop. What was it I was thinking of? If they were like reboot. Oh no, they've done it, haven't they? Oh, never mind. Oh, like if they were like reboot like a Roger Rabbit or something. I'd be an uproar if they tried to reboot Roger Rabbit.
Yeah, well, I mean, the chap who played the detective has passed away.
Yeah, he passed away. Christopher Lloyd's what?
A billion?
80. He's somehow alive.
He's a necromancer. He's still holding himself together as a lich.
Yeah, just don't mess with my Roger.
I love seeing Christopher Lloyd in old movies where he's young, but he still looks really fucking old. Like I don't think the man has ever looked young ever. Because in Back to the Future, he's not actually that old.
I thought I watched Back to the Future. I this dude must be like 60.
Yeah, he looks really old, but he's
not. He's 81.
He's
now,
gone.
Yeah, which means that, but like in Back to the Future, he was only like
in 1985. It was released 1985 or something, wasn't it?
Yeah. So that's 35 years ago. If he's 80 now, so that's 50. So he was 45.
He looks 60,
right? Yeah, that's what I mean. But you see him in movies when he's 20, and he still looks old.
I've never seen him.
Yeah, he always looks old. He's just one of those guys that just he's always looked like a mad scientist. Yeah.
That's fair. There's a few things I like. I just don't want them to go near, which I'm assuming they will eventually, because like you said,
they want to make money.
In 10 more years, they'll be like, hey, let's make a new Truman Show. Yeah. Let's make a new Mask, and they made the Son of the Mask. Like, why did you make the Son of the Mask? It need to be made. Jim Carrey didn't want to do a sequel. Be like, hey, let's make money.
And they've got to really think about the way they're handling these things too, because a lot of these reboots are shit, and that's not just my opinion. Like, they're flopping. Like you said, The Mummy was a classic example. I think that Karate Kid movie that they did with Jackie Chan wasn't very well received. I don't recall it doing particularly well. Especially, most people. Yeah, but if I said to you, Dan, let's grab a DVD and sit down and watch Karate Kid, you're not thinking about Jackie Chan.
I'm not. No, I'm thinking.
Nah, you're all Mr. Miyagi in this shit. And
wax
paint the
on,
fence.
wax off.
That's
illegal,
right.
Illegal kick to the face to win. Yeah.
Right. That's where we're at. That's the sort of stuff that it's actually. I still haven't even watched Cobra Kai on YouTube. God damn it.
I need to. Need
All
to.
right. So, and that's an example. There you go. So you got, Cobra Kai is a TV series based on a movie from 30 years ago, and with the original cast.
But
So-
it seems like Ralph Macchio is like Daniel is like a dick.
Yeah, he's a bit of a dick.
I mean, he always was, but like he's like
Now he's
plays
a bit more of a
in,
dick.
the
I think
shoes.
too.
Yeah, he plays
with
in-
these reboots, like when we have stuff like you have, your Rambo movies, which were predominantly, I would like to think, are very 80s, and you sort of have
Love 'em.
Rambo 4, and that's fine. But then Last Blood, which okay, it was okay film, but that's if you're gonna reboot stuff or you're gonna do sequels to stuff, know when to stop as well and stop milking.
So I watched Last Blood 2 weeks ago. I was like, I'm gonna sit through this, and I was watching it. I'm like on the edge of my seat the whole time. I'm like, I love Rambo. At the end, I'm like, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. I won't say it, but I'm like, you need to finish it at some point. There needs to be an ending to this eventually. Like Sylvester Stallone's 70. He's not going to be making Rambo films again.
That's right. Yeah.
It's like the Rocky films. Actually, if they reboot Rocky and it's not Sylvester Stallone,
Well-
I'll have a problem then.
Oh yeah, that's fair. Well, I
I'll
think
have a problem.
I think the way they've got around that is pushing it into Creed.
Creed.
Yeah.
Which is good, but because Sylvester Stallone's still portraying Rocky in it as well, and being Apollo Creed's son and everything. I really like them. I think they're really good. But if they would be like, we're going to make a new Rocky movie, and it's not going to be a Sylvester Stallone, I'd flip the table.
Yeah, it'll be Dwayne the Rock Johnson because he's
Could it be though?
He's in every.
It'd probably be
fucking
Tom
reboot.
Holland. He's a little British dude. Adrian, help me! He's getting pummeled by, and the Rock is going to play Ivan Drago. Just come to. I will crush him. Calm down, Rock. No,
I must break you.
it would be great.
Oh,
Great.
All right. Well, we should probably throw that question out to our listeners too. And I keep saying I'm going to get this shit on Facebook, but I really need to get our shit on Facebook and just see what people think about 80s, movies and TV shows being remade or sequels to in the modern day. I'd be interested to really get a broader sort of spectrum of responses. Yeah. So I have to do that. Remind me to do that. Then we can sort of talk about it in the next podcast. So. All right, there's heaps of shit coming. You got a list for us, Ethan? I think because we've got Altered Carbon this Friday.
Yeah, give me a sec.
There's a bunch of shit coming out. Obviously, Invisible Man's coming out this Thursday, which Ethan is more than hyped for. He's like frothing.
Mm-hmm. I have the frothies.
I can agree with you. I really want to see that.
So what's this week? Invisible Man, Guns Akimbo, and Onward, the new Disney movie.
Yep. Okay.
Tom Holland and Chris Pratt.
Yeah. There's some good stuff. Yeah.
And
Onward
then
looks great.
Bloodshot, starring Vin Diesel, another movie about family.
Yeah. That's cinemas. That's cinemas.
We'll see.
At
We'll see.
cinemas.
I might. You know what? That might actually get my ass out of down to the cinema, especially my local, because they're so like events only $7.50 or $8 or something for an adult. So that looks like some pretty good mindless,
Yeah.
shooting up fun.
Yes, it's Altered Carbon.
Yeah, Altered Carbon. Yeah.
The Dark Tower.
Yeah, the movie. Yeah, with
Yep.
old mate.
Idris Elba.
Yeah, that was terrible, but
New Castlevania's out next week, the third season.
Yes. Weren't we actually getting a Dark Tower TV series as well?
I got cancelled through Amazon. Amazon didn't want to pick it up. And there's also Pokemon Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution.
Yep. Yeah, I saw that.
It's the first movie. It's just a bunch of already existing stuff coming to streaming services.
Right. Yeah. Nothing. No original.
Nah,
Yeah.
just
Well,
the
see, if
Altered
Lucas
Carbon.
was on, he probably would have told us all about the Hunters on Amazon, which is the Nazi
Oh, yeah,
boys.
that was out Friday, just gone.
Yeah, I know he was really keen for that, so I'm sure he's probably been watching that and would have been able to tell us more about it. But yeah. All right. Well, I guess that's about it, eh, lads?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
It's good. All right. Well, as you may have noticed, we've been spreading out the podcast a little bit. That's just because we've been waiting for enough news. It's just and new releases, and it's been a bit of a quiet patch. And of course, often we're talking Marvel, and Marvel's just really quiet at the moment. Obviously, come later this year, we'll have movies and TV shows, and we'll be dissecting everything. And Ethan will be frame by framing shit. You laugh, but Ethan frames by frame shit. He does.
For what? For what? I zoned out.
He's busy frame by framing something. Yeah. But yeah, so anyway, hopefully we'll be back next fortnight. It's really just going to depend on the news, but otherwise it'll be 3 weeks. I don't think we'll ever leave a bigger gap than sort of 3 weeks, but
yeah.
Keep an eye out, and thank you very much to our Patreon supporters who help make this channel possible, this show possible. We appreciate your donations. We're giving away a board game next month instead of a Steam voucher. It's something different. So, a copy of Lanterns. But yeah, that's all for this episode. Thanks for joining us, Dan.
No problem, guys. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Ethan. Thanks as always.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. All right, we'll catch everyone next time.
Welcome.